Hey everyone, welcome again on this series, and in this whole video we will going to try to achieve this whole UI. Okay, so this video will going to be large. Okay, and in this whole video we will develop this UI from the scratch. We will going to set up the UI first, the right panel and left panel, then we will create app bar, then we will create this background image part, then we'll put this text part. Okay, and then we will create this card and everything. You can see the whole thing we will achieve in this video, so please watch this video till the last and don't forget to subscribe the channel and like the video, and let's start coding. So let's set up our base thing. So here you will find that we have a left panel and the right panel on our WhatsApp web. So we will going to first create this base setup. As of now, if we go on our code, then you will find nothing. It's just a React logo with some just some example text. So let's start writing the code. What I will do, I will going to create something called foundation and feature. This approach I always follow. I put the reusable code on a foundation, like some reusable component I will put inside the foundation, and inside the feature I'm going to put all the feature related to this WhatsApp web feature. You can see the left panel or right panel, and foundation you can see, think about this reusable component. Okay, so let's go inside a feature. First feature is the home page. So inside the feature I'm going to create pages, and the first page is the home page. So this is the folder structure I'm going to use. Home page. Inside the home page, let's put a file called homepage.tsx. I'm going to use React snippet to create snippet code. I'm going to use the RFC. I'm going to create a functional component called homepage. So whenever we use a homepage, create a functional component that should be have a capital letter. So I'm going to put the name of the file as well on a capital. Okay, so here we are going to write our home page related stuff, and okay, and let's use this home page. We don't have anything, and just remove all the thing like header and all, and let's use the home page only. I'm going to import the home page, and here we have a home page, and in the home page what we need to do, we need to create new thing over here. The first thing is the right panel. .tsx. Second thing will going to be a left panel.tsx, and let's use the RFC again to create a component left panel. Might be I did a mistake, and hit the save. I will use again RFC to create a right panel snippet. Okay, I will go on a home page. What I will do right now, I just wanted to align the left panel and the right panel like this way. Okay, so what I will do, I will go here, I will use the box component. So if you heard about the FlexBox in HTML CSS world, web development world, similarly we have the box in the React MaterialUI component, and it have a couple of parameter like display. So here in a display you have to use the flex. I'm going to use as a flex, and automatically the flex direction by default will going to be a row, but I just wanted to show this thing that if you don't use this flex direction and use the flex direction, then what will happen. So let me just use this right panel. What I will do, I will use again a box. I will put this right panel component. Okay, I will import the right panel component as well. I will again use a box. I will import the left panel component. This should be first, as left first align, then right will align. I will hit the save and go here, then you will find left panel and right panel come here like this. So just think about this box is a flex parent, and these are the child of the flex. Okay, so these are the item, flex item, and this is the main flex box. Okay, so here you just have to provide the width, the width you wanted to provide. So I'm going to provide the width around 30%, and I'm going to provide the width of this as a 70%. So if you use a color to just differentiate what exactly I was saving, we have a SX property. Okay, so SX property is the same like we have a style in every HTML tag. Okay, so in a Material UI, instead of using the style, we're going to use the SX property. Okay, and here if I will use a background, it's the same as the HTML style thing. Okay, I will use the red. Similarly, I will do this thing on here on a box. I just wanted to show what exactly I did to yellow. Okay, then you will find our left panel is taking the 30% width of the screen and right panel is taking the 70% of width. Along with that, we can provide the height as well. If I will provide the height here in a parent 200 VH, so it will take the height of screen. VH mean the screen height available of the screen. Okay, so here you can see that the same thing we wanted to do here. We wanted to have a two separate thing. The first thing was this thing. Okay, this is the left panel, and the second thing is the right panel. So we did the same thing. I gave the 30% width of the screen to the left panel and 70% width to the right panel. Now we can start writing the code and create some component which will look like this UI. So in this part, we will going to work on the app bar. Okay, so these are the app bar you can see, and we will going to work on the layout of the app bar. Okay, so if you see that it is a right panel and it is a left panel, and both have a app bar which have a different kind of UI. So we're going to create a common component for it. Okay, and we will going to use it in both the places. So let's go and start writing a code. For that, what I will do, I will going to create a new folder inside the foundation folder. That's why I created a foundation folder where we can keep the code which will be reusable on the all over the project. Okay, so I'm going to use a custom app bar, and let me create a file custom app bar.tsx. I'm going to use a snippet to create a functional component. Okay, and let's use this custom app bar component inside our right panel. We don't need to use this width. Okay, I'm using a box instead of the div. Okay, and you will see that all over the places I'm going to use a box only. So it's a kind of a div for me in a Material UI. So here I just imported the custom app bar we just created on a right panel, and I will do the same in a left panel. Okay, inside the custom app bar as well, I'm going to use a box only. Okay, So with help of box, we can mainly customize the thing. So it's easy to use a box all the time. And in a box, I'm going to use SX. Okay. And in a SX, what I will going to use, I will going to use a background. And what will be the background color of this app bar? So actually I have the color code. I will put this color code in description as well. So just go there and copy and paste on your code. I'm going to use this background color. Okay. Also, let me provide a width. Width obviously will going to be a 100%. And height, let me put as of now as a 60px. Remember, when we use a React, we can take a props as well. Okay, and with help of the props, we can use, we can take a width and height as a props, and we can customize this app bar. Okay, so if I will hit the save, then you will find that the app bar is added. Okay. And if you closely look on the screenshot of the web WhatsApp UI, then you will find that we have a vertical divider as well. So I will go on a home page and I will add the vertical divider. As of now, I'm using a FlexBox. I'm using a box as a FlexBox with help of the display flex, and flex direction is row. That's why things are coming in a column wise. Whenever you will use a display, flex direction as a row, then children will come on a column wise, like it is a first column and this is a second column. Okay, so if I wanted to add another children, that children will also come on a column wise. So this will be a first column, this will be a second, and this will be a third. Okay, so I'm going to use a A6 again, and I will going to use a border. Border will going to be 0.5 px solid. Oh, we need to use in an inverted comma, and I'm going to use color. So I have a color code for the divider as well. I will put it in a description again, and hit the save. Then you will find a description. You will find the vertical divider. Okay, so here the vertical divider is added. Now let's work on the UI of the app bar. So I'm using the same app bar, but app bar have a different UI. You can see that, right? It have this kind of UI for this, and it have this kind of UI for this. So what I will do, I will go on a right panel. Okay, so here in a right panel we have a custom app bar, and custom app bar not taking any kind of props yet. So I need to pass a children on a custom app bar. So what I will do, that I will going to get a children. Okay, so I'm getting a children. So this is generally in old reacting, what we were doing, we were using the props, but right now in a TypeScript, what we will do, we will going to use it this way. We will directly access the children, and it is throwing an error because in a TypeScript every props have a type. Okay, so what I will do for this thing, I'm going to create a type with help of the interface. In a TypeScript we can create our own type. Okay, so with help of the interface, and this is a way you can provide type to the props. So here you have to provide a type. So children will have a React element type, but I'm just going to put any as of now. Okay, and you can see that right panel and left panel is giving an error because children is a mandatory props, because here I haven't put a question mark. If I will put a question mark, then children will become a optional props. But if I will not put any question mark over here, then it is a mandatory props. And if I don't provide that mandatory props, then our app will throw an error. So this is the beauty of a TypeScript. If we have any kind of error, it will throw it away at the same time, so our app will not going to crash in a production. Okay, so here we need to provide children. So for left panel, I will just put okay. So okay, I mean text also can act as a children. And now here I'm going to use a box again, and let's see our UI first. So you know about the FlexBox, and in a FlexBox we just did that we have a children's, and in the children's we can, if we use a FlexBox as a row, okay, then children will come as a column wise. Okay, children will come as a column wise. So that's why if you think this whole component as a first children and this whole component as a second children, then we had to use a box, put a display as a flex. By default, flex direction will going to be a row. So here I had provided the flex direction as a row, but if you don't provide a flex direction here and use a display as a flex, it will work as a row wise. Okay, so if I will put two different children, box and box, so it will come as a column wise. So let me put the first children as avatar. Okay, so avatar is a component given by the MaterialUI only. So if I will hit the save, then you will find that okay, that not yet came. Let me use a flex direction over here. I need to provide a width as well, I guess. I need to provide a width as 100%. Custom app bar. I may doing some small mistake as of now, I guess so. No issue found. Everything is working. Display as a flex. Oh, I am doing a mistake that I just got a children here, but I haven't used the children on a custom app bar. So let me just use it. I was got confused that what was the error. Okay, so that came here. So let me use the avatar here again. Okay, so you will see two avatar over here. Okay, so now this came because let me remove the flex direction because we don't need it. By default it will be a row. So here we have a two avatar and two children, that's why. Okay, so here what I will do, I will use a property called justify content, and it will help us to align our item in a horizontal way. Why it is horizontal way? Because we are using a flex as a row. So whenever you use a justify content, it will work in a way of like if you use a display direction as a row, then justify content will help you to align your children in a horizontal way. If you use your flex direction as a column, then it will work for in a vertical way. Okay, so let's use it as a space between. So this is a space between. So you will see that both of the children, this is the first children and the second children, is in the end of the each box. So the width of this box is covered by this area, and if I will use as a space between, justify content is as a space between, it will act as a horizontal way because we are using a flex direction as a row and it is coming in the end of the both ends. Okay, and let's work on the padding of this thing. Okay, so what I will do, I will go on a custom app bar, I will add a padding. As of now I will add 0 px to top to bottom, but I will add 20 px to left and right. Okay, so I haven't added padding on top and bottom, but added 20 px on left and right, and because of that it is kind of distorted because we are providing a width. I will just remove the width and it should work fine. Okay, now the meaning of this thing, it will apply on a top and bottom, and it will apply on a left and right. Okay, and here what I will do, I will simply go here in a right panel, and I will use align item. Similarly, like we have a justify contain, we have a align item as well. So if we are using display direction as a row, then justify contain will work on a horizontal way. Okay, and align item will work on a vertical way. Okay, if we use the same thing as a column, so we can use a FlexBox as a row and column, then justify will work as a vertical way. Okay, and align item will work as a horizontal way. So this is just theory knowledge I wanted to give if you don't have it, but I guess everyone should have this thing about they should know about the FlexBox. So I will use as a center. I wanted to centrally align the items. Okay, align item is centered, then also it is not coming to the center. That's strange. Height, let me use the height as a 100%. the height have the parent. Okay, now it came, because we haven't added the height property of the child component, that's why it was not able to take the parent whole height. So now it came to the center. Okay, cool. Now let me go here, and you will see that now we have a two thing. This is a first children, and this was the second children, and the first children have two childs. Okay, so let's work on a second child again. So we are doing a one by one. So you can see that it have a two child and both are in a column wise. That's why we need to use display flex, and automatically it will take a flex direction as a row. First child was the author, which we added here. Okay, let me increase it to the 65 so it will look better. Okay, and maybe 60 will work. Okay, so first children was the author, and the second children will going to be another box which have a two childrens. Okay, so this is our first children, and now we have a second children. Okay, it will again have a display as a flex, but now you can see that the children of this flex box are in a row wise. That's why we need to use a flex direction as a column wise. Okay, so it have a first children. Suppose Balram is the first children. So Balram came, and second children. So let me just for the simplicity, what I will do, I will go on a MaterialUI for this thing. I will go on a MaterialUI typography. Okay, so as we are using a MaterialUI, so we have a typography component as well, and typography component will help us to figure out which kind of heading or which kind of text we will use. So let's use a typography. Okay, so the first children is a typography. The MaterialUI component is added, and if you see the example, then you will find out that here we need to provide a variant. So I will use a variant, and let's use the h6. Let's use a Balram as of now. Let's go on our code, and you will find the Balram is added, but color, we need to add a color. So let's use a color. So it should have a props color maybe. And what are the thing it will take? It will take any color maybe. So let me use a white. So Balram came, but it's looking too big. It should have something customized. If I will use a body one, so what is the criteria to use a body one? So we will use a body one like this. So instead of variant S6, I will use body one. So Balram is added, okay. And second thing in the same thing is the online. Don't worry about the font as of now. I mean font family as of now. We will add a font family later. Let's work on a UI first. I will add a second typography, and it will be a subtitle, might be. Let's see what it can be. It can be a caption text or a subtitle. Oh, we will use a subtitle too. Okay, let me use a subtitle 2 as a variant, and let's see. Okay, and let me use online. Okay, if I will use a caption text, then because that is not caption text display block caption variant as a caption. Actually, I don't have a proper font size and font weight kind of thing with me because it's a WhatsApp internal thing. That's why I'm guessing what can I use. Okay, so I'm using this thing. Okay, and it have a different color will going to be a gray. Okay, let's put the white color only. I will find the color code of this online. Okay, so here it came, but it is not properly aligned, as you can see. So for this, what I will do, I will use align item because I wanted to align the item in a horizontal vertical way. So it will be a flex start. So these are aligned properly, and the one thing I need to do, that I need to add a padding between this thing and this thing. So what I will do, I will add a padding. It will be a padding left. So padding left shortcut, I mean this PL and PR thing will work for the box only. So I will add a padding left 10px. Okay, so this thing is added. You can see that Balram and online is added. We will work on a color later. So at least we align this thing, this whole thing, and now let's work on the right part. Okay, we will do the modification on the UI later, but let's create a layout first. Okay, so here we need to work. So it will be act as a same. It's flex direction will going to be row, and it have a 2 children. Okay, so here instead of using the avatar, we're going to use a search and 3-dot menu. And for that, what we need to do, we need to install the material icon first. So MaterialUI icon, if you search, then we have a icons available. Okay, and we can use those icon, but first we need to install the material icon package. We just copied. I will put this command in the description. First it will install the material icons, and then we can use it. I wanted to use a search icon, so this is a search icon. Just go on this thing, you just have to search here, and when you click on a respective icon, it will give you the import code. Okay, so I will just import over here search icon. That's it. So let me go here and let's see what is the search icon is added. Let me provide a color let me use a SX. Color will going to be a white. Okay, that color came. Search icon is added. Now we need to add a second icon. Okay, but second icon will going to be a 3-dot menu. Okay, and I first need to use a display as a flex. Then we can add a 3-dot menu. For that, what I will going to do, I will going to use a menu of the MaterialUI. Okay, and I will just go here. First thing will going to be, first thing will going to be using a icon button. Icon button is a button. Okay, and in an icon button we can provide a icon along with the on click event. So let me just show you first. So here we have on click first. Okay, and so any kind of thing we wanted to perform on a clicking on that button we can do over here. Similarly we need to do for the search thing. Okay, so let me type this icon button, because the search icon not have a on click or anything, so when we click on a search icon, then it will not work properly. So let me type this thing on click on icon button, and here I will going to use another icon that will be a dot menu or something. Here we will find 3-dot move word. Okay, so let me copy this icon, import it over here, move word, and use it as a component. If I will come here, then that is added. Let me use this SX over here as well. So those two things is added over here. You can see that we need to work on the showing a menu on click of this 3-dot. Okay, so how we will do this thing, we will going to use the menu component for it, which is provided by the MaterialUI. So if you see on a screenshot of the WhatsApp, then you will find that we have a 2 menu button. So here we have a menu button, and here also we have a menu button. So basically what I'm going to do, that I'm going to create a single component, and we will going to use that single component in everywhere. For that, what will be the scenario? First we will go here, we will going to create a new folder, custom, oh I guess caps is on, custom menu button. Okay, this will be a folder name, and we will going to create a custom menu button.tsx file. With help of this snippet, we will going to generate a functional component. Now what we will going to need is, we need a code of the menu button. If you come here, and you will find that we have a simple menu button, that is a dashboard, and when we click on a dashboard, this profile, my account, those stuff are coming. In a MaterialUI, if you go and you will see this code icon, then you will find the code written for this particular functionality. We're going to see what exactly they did. Okay, and then we're going to use the same thing for our scenario. So they use a menu component, which is this, and they use the menu item component. Okay, and let's use the same thing in our case also. So first thing first, I'm going to use a box or div, you can call basically, or I will going to use a box again, and in the box I'm going to use the code we written in here. We have written the icon button, okay, with more word icon. I'm going to just copy this thing, and remember this is a part of code we use for this case. So I'm just going to copy the more word icon, which is a 3-dot menu icon, along with the icon button component. Okay, and I'm going to just paste it over here. I will import all the necessary thing. Okay, we have to import a more word icon like this. Okay, and let me just change the capital U to small u. Also change the name. We did a small typo mistake over here. Okay, and I will hit the save. I will use this custom menu button in our right panel. Import the thing from our own package, our own file which we just created, and hit the save and see that any changes are came. No, not yet. Everything is working fine like old days. And now we can go here and we can just start working on the file. So here, if you see that first we added a button, then we use the menu component. We have to do the same thing. We're going to use a menu component which is provided by the MaterialUI. I will import that thing here, and now it accepts set of parameter, props, which we need to provide over here. Otherwise it will throw an error, because those are the mandatory props. We talked about the mandatory props in the last video. So what are the props we need to provide over here? The first props we need to provide is the anchor AL. That is a mandatory props, and we need a open and we need a on close. Okay, so these three things we need, and for these three things, what they did, that they have created a set of variable. For anchor, they created a set of variable, and I will explain it one by one what they did here. They use a use state. Okay, so instead of like this, I'm going to import the use state from the React itself, and they created a variable anchor AL and set anchor AL. What does that mean is, to control a menu, we need to use this anchor AL, because anchor AL is a mandatory props for the menu. Okay, and this is a kind of local state. Okay, so with help of the use state, we manage a state on the React. If you are aware about the React fundamental hooks which is required for the functional component, one of the main hooks to alter a state on a React is a use state. We just created a variable of the use state along with the set altering that variable. So suppose if we wanted to change something on this variable, whenever we will change, we have to use the set state of that particular variable. Okay, the second thing is the open, and open is nothing but just a boolean variable. Okay, which will tell you that the menu button is open or closed. Okay, that is also a kind of mandatory prop. That's why when we added the open, automatically the error of the menu is gone. Okay, third thing will going to be a handle close. Handle close, whenever we will click here outside or something will happen, then we need to close the menu button, right? So for that we need to do this handle close thing. Okay, so let's use the handle close also. So I will just use copy and paste, because we just need a basic thing. So I will use the handle close, and that thing we will do on close props. Okay, so these are the basic thing we need to do, and once that will be done, so use this way a basic button. It's a optional props, but to remove some extra padding and all, we can use these props. Okay, and if I will hit the save again, if I will go here, nothing will happen as of now, because we haven't added a menu item. We just added a menu component, but on click of this this icon button, we need to show the menu. Okay, so we have a handle click method as well. So in a handle click method, this is a handle click method. We are not doing anything. So suppose handle close is setting the anchor al as a null. Okay, similarly in a handle click, which I will going to provide this handle click here on click of the icon button, what it will do, it will basically set the anchor L to the menu item. Okay, we are using the event the current target. With help of that, it will set this particular menu thing to the anchor L. And suppose to test this thing, if I will add a custom menu item which is here. Okay, so if I will add a custom menu item here, and if I will import the menu item component from the MaterialUI, so we just did nothing, we just copied the thing from the menu page of the MaterialUI, and I explained everything one by one here. And if I will go here and refresh the page, then you will find that first menu is came, okay, which was the profile. So if I will click outside, then it will be gone, because whenever we are clicking outside, the handle close method is being called and it is setting the anchor al as a null. Now what we need to modify here, we need to modify the number of thing we need to show on click of this this particular menu button. For that, what we will do, we are going to take up props. Whenever we will use a custom menu button, either we use here or we will use it here, we will going to take up props, number of menu item we wanted to show and what are the thing we need to show. Okay, for that, what I will do, I will going to create an interface like we did in the last time. I'm going to create an interface with props. It will take a parameter called data. I can name it anything, or I can name it as menu items. Okay, it will going to be an array of string. So this is the way you can define array of string in a TypeScript. Okay, as of now, let's take this thing only, then we will think what are the other parameter we need to take. So so here we need to take menu items as a props, and how we will provide a props as a type, like this way. Okay, now we are getting the menu items. Okay, and what we need to do, instead of showing this static hard-coded menu item, I'm going to use curly braces and I'm going to use a map. In JavaScript we have a map which will take a callback method. In a callback method, what we will get, we will get the item. So menu item is an array which have a string, so type of the item will going to be string also. So it is like saying capital S. So it is like having let me just put this thing return, then okay. So menu item is an array, and with help of the map we will going to access that array element one by one. So suppose we have an array of a 1 2 3, so this item will be 1 2 3 in a one at a time. Okay, so when I will do this thing with help of the map, we are converting this thing, this whole thing, into the menu item. Okay, and here I'm going to put a item, so it will going to be a 1, then it will going to be a 2, and it will going to be a 3, like this way. So we are basically mapping this whole array into set of different array which will return a menu item. So now it is not a static menu item, it's a dynamic menu item. Okay, so on click, let's not bother about the on click. So whenever we will use a custom menu button, then we are asking a menu item as a props, which is a mandatory one. If I will hit the save and if I will go on a right panel, then you will find that custom menu button is now throwing an error because we are using a TypeScript and the props we are asking menu item is a mandatory props, and if you don't provide it, then it will throw an error. So let's pass a set of array, and here what I will do one thing, that I will go on a home page. I will going to create a new folder called utils. Okay, and here I will going to create a constant file, okay, .ts file. In a constant.ts file, I'm going to create a export right panel menu items. Okay, so instead of, let me just create this thing first, then I will explain you. So here we have a menu items, and I'm going to use, these are the menu we have: context info, business detail, contact info, that will be a first, contact, business detail, rest of the thing I will put here, and I will going to take this thing. So as of now I use export cons. So basically when we use a export, then automatically that particular thing is exported for whole project. So I can access this particular constant variable, which is an array, in our right panel. Okay, so why I am doing this thing, because whenever if I will need to add another menu items, then I will go on this constant file, and I don't need to find where I have that set of array of menu. I don't need to find it here. I will just go on a constant file, okay, and I will find that particular variable, and I will add a new menus over here. Similarly, if I will add the menu thing here and I need a set of menu items, that constant I will put here only. Okay, so if I will click here, then you will find the contact info and business details, those things are coming down. Okay, as of now the background color is white. We will work on that part later. Okay, so now the menu item thing is added. Like we have created a custom menu button, and I will add those other thing which we have here later, and we will think that on click of that particular menu item what we need to do. Okay, that part we will think later, because we are just focusing on the UI part first. So as of now it is added. Let's work on this background part of this particular right panel, that instead of having this yellow background, we need to add a background image of the WhatsApp. What we will do, I will just go on a right panel first, and as you can see that we are using a box. So let's provide the height of this box as 100%. So this box will take whole height available from the parent. Okay, and it have a first children as a custom app bar, and the second children I'm going to use first. Let me use as a display as a flex, and flex direction as a column. Okay, and it have a first children. Let me add a second children box. So if you see over here, it have a section where we have a background image of WhatsApp, and we have a third section where we have this text input. Okay, so this is a second children, then we have a third children. If I will add a background of these children, something called green. Okay, let's visualize this thing first, that how we will take the width, height this remaining, okay, then we will take a height of this text input part. Okay, so when I refresh this thing, I mean there is nothing yet come here because we need to provide a height. So let me provide a height of this box. I will provide a height around 200 px. So that green part came. Let me use as orange. And because this box don't have any height, it is not yet visible. So what I will do, I wanted to give this box the remaining height. So suppose if I will use this as 100, so orange part is taking 100 pixel, and what I wanted to do, because the text box area is in the bottom only, the remaining area of the height is taken care by this scroll view, where we are putting the background image, and on top of the background image we are putting the layout of the messages. Okay, so I wanted to give the box remaining height. So how we can do it, we need to use a flex, and when I will use a flex as a 1, then automatically the remaining height of the height available of the parent box. Okay, so I gave the parent box as 100%, so the height available from the parent, that remaining part of the height will taken care by this box. And as we are using the flex 1, so custom app bar will take their own height, that is a 63 px. Then after this 100 px will taken care by this box, the remaining height will be taken care by this box because we use the flex is equal to 1. Okay, so this is the way we can assign a particular flex box to a remaining height. Okay, so we don't need this 100 px, we just need 80 px or something, or maybe 70 px. So here we will going to put a text box. Okay, so what about this part? First we need to put the background image, and on top of the background image we need to put a layout. So let's first put the background image. For that, what I will do, so this is the box which we gave a flex is equal to 1, and here inside this thing I will going to use two things. The first thing will be the background image, and on top of the background image we will work on the putting the messages layout like test2, header 2, those things. So let's use a background image first. Again I'm going to use a box. So in a MaterialUI box is a super important thing you should know. Okay, and box have a property as a component. Something happened. Okay, so this, let me just delete this word. And box have a property called component, and you can provide a type as an image. Okay, so now box will work as an image component of the MaterialUI. And here what you need to do, you need to provide the source or path of the image. For our case, the path will going to be this image path. So I will just going to copy the relative path. So I downloaded it from the internet, this particular image for the background image, and here I will import it as a bg from source. Okay, and I will use this bg and provide it over here. And if I will hit the save, okay, this thing will not work. So let's give the relative part. For that, // we have to use the asset / background.png. Okay, so this is the exact path of this image. Let me hit the save and see. So now you can see that images came, but it is taking the extra height and width. To restrict this thing, what we need to do, we need to provide the proper height height will going to be the again flex one, or you can use a height as 100%. Because parent have a proper height, then we don't need to provide a flex one, and width will going to be the 100% of the parent. So whenever we use 100%, it will take a height or width of the parent. Okay, so the height and width available of the parent. So here if I will hit the save, then you will find that the background image is aligned. And let's work on the text box part. First we are completing the layout, then we will going to add backend stuff. Okay, so for that, first thing I had to change the color of this background. It will be this color. Okay, so now we added that part, and in the box what we need to do, let me use a display as a flex, because if you see here, it have a flex direction as a row. It have 4 children. First children is the emoji icon, second is attachment, third is text box, fourth is mic icon. So let's do this thing one by one. What we will going to do, first we will going to add a emoji icon. Okay, so the first children will going to be icon button, icon button, and it have on click. We will come on click later, but let's add an empty callback function, and let's import a icon from the material icons. So here if you search emoji, then I guess this emoji will suit fine. This emoji icon will suit fine for our case. I will go here, use this mood icon over here. Okay, and hit the save. Let's go there and see that is added or not. Yeah, that is added, but the color of this icon is different than we have in a WhatsApp. What will be the color of this thing? So for that, let me find the color. So here is the color code. So I uploaded this image, and with help of this image I am finding the colors. So let me go here, let's go on SX. As of now I don't have a Figma design of this UI, that's why I'm using help of this kind of material. Okay, so if I will increase the size, we will use a height to around 35px. Let's see, and also let's use a width. Those are the guessing number. I don't know the exactly height and width of this emoji icon. Okay, I had to decrease it to the 30, so it will look good. Might be 25 or 27 will be good. Okay, similarly we need to have another icon which will be attachment icon. Let's use that thing also, attachment. So attachment we have here, that is not listed over here, but we can use this thing. So here is the another one. Let me copy this icon button. Okay, let me copy it again, and let me paste it over here, and let's use the attachment file icon. We can create this global CSS file and put it here, but for the sake of checking, we will just add it like this, so it is also added. Okay, and it should have some padding between right and left, so let's add a padding between right and left. Okay, so I will go here, and I will add some padding between right and left. For that I will use padding right or left, I mean top and bottom will be 0 px and left and right will going to be around 15 px. Hit the save and let's see. Okay, that is added. If I will increase the padding to 75 px, so you can see that it is changing. I guess we need to decrease the emoji size, it's too large. Okay, now let's add a third emoji icon. Okay, that will be the mic icon, so let's work on that too. I will go here and I will use a mic. So here we got the mic icon. I will copy it. Let's see, it's okay. And what I will do, I will put that mic icon here and replace with this icon. Let's see that is added or not. So that is also added, which means all the three icons are added. Now we need to work on this text box. Okay, for that I'm going to use another material icon, that will be input. Okay, input MUI. So input is have a great things available. So it's just a UI and it don't have a documentation, but it have certain properties. Okay, so what I will do, I will going to use a box, and inside the box I'm going to use input. Let's provide this box, I mean let me first import the input from the material UI, and let's provide a box to flex 1. Hit the save, go on or React tab. So that thing is added. Okay, give this input as a full width. So now the input is came here, you can see that. Okay, and let's go over here, the main parent box which we have, where we have the main parent box of this particular thing we have here. Let me align item to center, so our input will going to be aligned. So this is input is aligned properly to the center. And now let's work on the CSS part of this input thing. Okay, for that what we will do, we will first go here and find out the exact color code of the background. So this is the exact color code of background. I will just going to copy this thing, and I'm going to use this thing in an input. Here we will have a SX property. I will going to use a background, provide the hash which we just copied, hit the save, go here and check, that is added over here. Also I will going to provide disable underline, so the underline we are able to see that will be gone. So now this is the input area. Let's provide a height of this input area. So what will be the height of this input area? It will be around 55 px maybe. Okay, oh it is taking too much, maybe 45 or maybe 40 px. Okay, 40 px will be good. Also it needs some kind of border radius, so let's add a border radius 2. I will add a border radius around 8 px. Okay, now it have a border radius 2. And let's talk about the text. 8 px will be too much, so yeah. And now let's talk about the font color. the color we will use, which will be, what will be the color here? Maybe it will be a white. I don't have a picture while typing, so I will not able to find properly, but yeah. I just wanted to increase this thing to the 65px and decrease this thing to 1, so I can increase the height of the text fill. Okay, and the next thing I wanted to do is add some padding between start. For that, what I will do, I will add a padding. That padding will going to have a left and right, not a top and bottom, so I will add a 10px as a left and right. Okay, till now the thing are added, and I know it is not exactly looking like this one, but yeah, it have some kind of same kind of UI. It just needs some kind of padding between left and right, so padding between this attachment icon and mic icon. So we will add a padding left 5px. Similarly, I will add a padding right as a 5px. So remember, while using a box, we can add a short form of the padding left and right. Okay, and let's add a placeholder as well. So input take a placeholder, so let me use a placeholder as well. Type, what is the placeholder? Type a message. So that placeholder is also added, which means the right panel is now completed, most of it. We'll have to work on the left part. Okay, so let's start writing the code. Before I will start writing the code, please don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the video and share the video. It will highly motivate me. So let's go and start writing the code. So if I will go on a left panel, so in the left panel, as of now, we don't have anything, but the same kind of child we need to provide over here. Okay, the same type of custom app bar we added in a right panel, we need to do the same thing here as well. The alignment will going to be some kind of different, but let me just copy the whole code which we use in the right panel. So I will first import all the thing which we use. So this is the exact code we just added in a right panel. I'm just importing it here. Okay, and this search we don't need it. This custom menu button we will going to need it. Okay, so all the thing are, I guess, imported. The only thing we need to do is we need to create our own constant file for the right panel. So the same thing we have here, we need to have for the left panel. I'm just going to copy the thing. I will put the exact option available for the left panel later. So okay, after hitting the save, if I will go on a UI, so we are using the same custom app bar, right? So right now we have a same option, we have the same thing. Okay, so let's alter this thing and see the UI what exactly we need to alter. So this is first thing will going to be, first thing we're going to use a box which is having a FlexBox and direction as a row. So here if you come, we are using a box which, and it's a flex, and it's by default box. If you use a display as a flex, then the flex direction is row. And the second thing is the first child of the flex box will going to be this avatar. So this is our first child. Okay, and the first child having a avatar, so we don't need this box. Okay, I'm just reviewing the unnecessary code. The first child will going to be avatar only, so either we use a avatar only. Okay, and hit the save, then it will work fine. Then the next child will going to be another flex box which have a 3 different icon. Okay, so and display and flex direction will going to be row. So this is a second child which is a box, and as we are using the display as a flex, then the flex direction will going to be as a row by default. The first child of this will going to be this status icon. So as of now we don't have this icon, but let's work on this icon first, that is a chat icon. If I will go on a material icons, and if I will search about the chat, then we have same kind of icon which we had here. Okay, let's import it. So this is the icon. We can see other icon are matching those type or not. So this is the perfect match, I guess, for that icon. So I will use this icon, import it here, chat icon, and I will put that icon over here. So as of now we have a chat icon. We need to use color, and that color will going to be, as of now I'm putting all over the places as a white. So let me go here in a right panel what we use for the color for icons. This was the color, so let me use this thing. I guess everything have the same color. No, so let me just copy the A6 property as of now. I don't need a height and width. I will go here and try to find out the exact color of this chat. So this is the color code we need to use for this chat icon. So this is the chat icon color. Similarly, this more icon will going to have a color instead of the white. Okay, now the both of the places is changed. Along with, let's change the search button over here, which we added in this right panel. Okay, it was also a white earlier, so I change everywhere the same color. So if you see in the left app bar, we found these two icons. What about this icon? Let's see that in a material icon, do we have those kind of icon? First thing, I will go and try to search status. No, we don't have those kind of icons. Okay, let me search circular, circle, we can use this icon over there. Okay, so actually we don't have a that kind of icon as of now. So what I will do, I will use this one in absence of that icon, because we are not able to find that kind of icon. Okay, so instead of having a left, we can use this icon, copy this thing. Okay, we don't have any option, so I will import that icon first. And what I will do, oh, not here, we had to work on the left panel, right, not on a right panel. So what will be the first icon? The first icon will going to be this one. Okay, so instead of using chat icon, I will going to use a donut large icon and hit the save, and let's see how it is looking like. So it is more of a same like we have here. We just need to add a padding between the icons, and as we are using a A6 in everywhere, we can add a padding. Okay, so let's add some padding between. Okay, let me add padding here only, so it will be A6 padding right will going to be around 10 px. Similarly, this padding right thing I need to add on the chat icon button as well. Okay, it will be around 5 px because this custom menu button already have some padding left. So now it is looking proper. So the navbar is part is completed. Okay, we have something over here. Let's work on the chat this layout. So this is also a part of the left panel, so we have to work on this layout. So let's create this layout first and iterate it 3 or 4 times to visualize the UI. Okay, so what we will do for that, I'm going to create a custom UI and I will going to place over home pages only. So in a home pages only, or else I can put it over here as well. So I will let's put here what we will call it, chat card. Okay, let's call it as a chat card. Chat card. Chat card.tsx file. Let's use the RFC to generate that thing. And here I'm going to use a box again. Let's use this chat card in a left panel. So this is the custom app bar. Okay, just below the custom app bar, I'm just putting this chat card just for the visualization. Okay, so as of now there is nothing. If I will go on a chat card and let's see the layout of the chat card, again it will going to have a display as a flex. And direction will going to again row wise. Then we have a first children, which is this. Then we have a second children, which will have this. Okay, it is not like that, it will be like, so this is our first children. Okay, so let's work on the first children, then we will think about the second children. Okay, so the first children is the avatar. Okay, so that thing I just added, so that came. And we need to add some background. So let me add a SX and add a background of this SX. Okay, so what will be the background? We will take the background as of now this color. So okay, the background is added. And let's add some padding to top. So padding up top will going to be 10 px, and and left and right will going to be a 10 px again. So it's a symmetric padding having top and bottom 10 px and left and right 10 px. Or we can increase the padding to 15 px. No, it will not look great. We can increase to 12 px. Okay, so now we are working on this card. The first thing was the adding a avatar. Now let's work on the second thing. The second thing is the column, okay, which have a first children, this one, and the second children will be this one. So let's work on that too. So second children will going to be a FlexBox, which is display having flex and flex direction will going to have a column. Okay, and again the first children of this will going to have FlexBox, which is row. So let's use the FlexBox again. the first children of the FlexBox, which will going to be flex direction have row, and second children will going to have a typography. Okay, and what will be the variant? The variant will going to be a subtitle maybe, or caption. Variant will going to be a caption. Let me check. Okay, let me check. Kind of it is added, but the color will going to be, what will be the color of this thing? Let me just again copy the exact color. This will be a color, so color will going to be this one. So that is added over here. You can see that. Let me work on the first child of this whole card. The first child will going to be body 2. Okay, it will be a typography which have a variant as body 1. If you are not able to understand what is body 1 or body 2, if you are aware that we have a typography component of the MaterialUI, here you can get a reference what are the body 1 and body 2. So this is the subtitle 1, these are the heading 1, 2, 3, this is a body 1, and this is a body 2. I wanted to use body 2 for this one. Okay, but it will be bigger than the old one, so what we can use, let's use subtitle 2 instead of the body 2 and see. So subtitle 2 will be good enough, I guess, or let me use a caption only, just for the sake of making the UI. We will do the modification of the UI later. So yeah, it will require some padding left to the avatar, so I will add a padding left around 10 px to avatar, or maybe 15 px. Okay, and the second thing of this this first child of the parent, I mean for this card, is it should have this one this time frame also. So let me use again a typography, and this typography will going to have a time frame which is 4:21 p.m. 4:21 p.m. and hit the save. Let me justify a content of this particular thing. Justify content to space between. Okay, and let me change it to the body 1 to caption. Let me change this to subtitle 2. And to align it properly, first we need to give a width of a parent to 100%. So width of a parent is not provided properly, so I gave the width as 100%, but parent don't had the width, so I had to give the width. So now it's aligned. So here the main alignment, so suppose this is the first children. Okay, first children is aligned properly and the second children is not aligned properly. So what we need to do, we need to use align item in a parent box, align items, and let's align it to the start. So if I will increase, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6, that will increase again, which means the card is created, and in a left panel we can use this card again and again. Okay, so that thing is added. the first thing we are going to do is first we're going to go on a chat card and let's add this horizontal divider. So let's add a third children as well of the column. Why I'm adding this thing, you can get easily know that this is our first children of the parent FlexBox, and this whole is a second children, right? So second children is a column FlexBox which have a first children as a row FlexBox. Second children was the typography, and now I'm going to add a third children which will going to be a divider. Okay, so let's add that thing. For divider, I already have a code, a snippet which we added on a home page. So this is the CSS for the divider, or we can use divider provided by the MaterialUI, but I'm not going to use that thing as of now. Let me add this thing first, and let's see in the code that it is added or not. It should be added. Oh, we need to provide the width of this box, otherwise it will not work properly. We're going to provide 100%. Let's see what will happen. So that came here. You can see that divider is came, and we need to add some padding between this typography and this divider. For that, we can add a PT over here. You know that whenever we will use a box, we have a superpower to use a short form of paddings or margin. Okay, so I will going to give a 10px over here. Oh, let me use empty instead of the PT. Yeah, so we got some margin between these things, and I guess we need to increase this margin to 15px and maybe 13px. Usually when we do the web development, we have a Figma, and with help of the Figma we get a exact padding or margin between the points, okay, or what will be the font size. Those details we easily got from the Figma. As we don't have any Figma design for this thing, so I had to make a guess for each and every point. So that's why I'm just guessing the nearest margin or padding value. Okay, so now it's looking something like this, and we can move ahead with this thing, or else I guess this. Okay, let's move ahead with this thing. It's having the same display. It have a padding top and margin top. So if I will increase the padding top, okay, so it's a top. Okay, let's do this thing. Instead of having a top, we will just going to have a bottom. So 12, it's a top, then right, then bottom will going to be a 12px, and left will going to be a 12px. Okay, so let me do this thing, and now we got a shorter distance between this thing and this divider. I know the part of this first chat card is kind of stick to the top navbar, but we will work on that when we will add this search box. Okay, so let's work on the search box first, then we will fix the scroll issue. As of now, the scroll issue is not fixed. Okay, so let's work on the search box, and that we will put inside the left panel only, because it is a part of the left panel, so we need to work on that. So here, first thing is we have a custom app bar. So this is our left panel, and left panel have the height of 100%. First children of the left panel is the custom app bar, and the second children was this chat card. And what I will do, just for the sake, I will remove all the chat card. Okay, and I will wrap it with the box, another box. Okay, so this is our first chat card, and this is our first children, and this is our second children. We need to put our third children between these two children, because the search box is coming between the navbar and the chat cards. Okay, so we will going to put the search box in between them. Again I will use a box to separate this out. So now this is our third children. Okay, so we need to put the code in between them. So what we will do, it's kind of the same text input we had here. You can see that we have the same kind of text input over here. So I will going to use an input component which we got from the MaterialUI. Okay, and let's go on a right panel, the code we already have for the CSS. It will be a full width, disable underline, placeholder, those things. I will just copy this whole thing and I will paste it over here. And what was the error? I guess we need to close it here. Okay, let me hit the save. See, that is added over here. That part is came, and we need to add a background color on the box. So we are doing one by one. So this is a box, and this box should have a SX. Okay, and it should have a background, because the background of that particular section is kind of different than the chat card. So you will get the color background. Okay, and we will get the color from where? From here only. So I will going to just get this background color hex code from here and put it over here. Okay, so the background color is added. Now let's add some padding to the top and the bottom. So I'm going to add a padding top and bottom. Padding top will going to be a 10px. I'm just making a guess again. And padding bottom will going to be a 10px. Hit the save and see what will happen. So the padding is added. Okay, and it should be more, I guess. Let me, for the sake of the clarity, maybe the color of the background is same as the chat card. Let me put a background as of now red, so we can easily differentiate between this card and that particular section. Okay, so this is our section where we are working for the search box, and right now it have enough padding between top and bottom, so we don't need to worry about it. Now let's think about this particular section. This particular section is actually a row flex box. Okay, the first children is the text input, and the second children is this icon button. Okay, that is a filter icon button. So let's work on that part. What I will going to do, I will going to add a padding to the right. So instead of having this thing here, let's add a padding here in the main CSS file. That will be a 10px to everywhere. I mean top, bottom, left, right, everywhere. So now the padding is added, or we can say that 10px to top and bottom, 12 or 15px to left and right. Okay, we can say that too. So we will get more padding. So instead of having this, 12px will be sufficient, I guess. So now this is a box, and I just wanted to make this box as a flex box. So for that I need to use a display as a flex, and by default it will work as a row flex box. Okay, so this is our first children, and now we need to work on the second children. For that, what I will do, I will just first use a icon button. Okay, so we got on icon button, and in the icon button I will put a on click. So let me increase some. So here we will put on click. As of now we are not doing anything. I'm just putting a empty callback, and here we need to put our second children icon, that is a filter icon. And let's go on a Material UI. Let's find out that do we have any icon available for filter. So here we have a filter list which is similar to this particular icon, so we can use it directly. So I will just copy the import code and I will import it over here and I will use it. So let me use it, and let's see on our UI that how it is looking. It's looking great, by the way. That icon is came, and we need to change the color of this icon again. Okay, so I can find out the color from here only. So this color I will going to use. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, not like that. We use the ASX for using a color for the icon, so I will use the same thing, color, and provide the icon color over here. That icon color is added, and let me remove this red. We got the idea that everything is working fine. So here now what we can do is we can decrease the icon size. To decrease the icon size, I will use height around 18px. Similarly, width will going to be 18px, not Windows, it will be a width to 18px, and hit the save. Might be it will work for the 20px. So that what we will do later. You can do this thing on your end to match the exact height. Okay, so but we need to work on the this part, this input part. So actually the input height is quite large than we have here, so we need to decrease the input height to around 35px. Okay, so we have decreased the input height, and along with that we need to add these icons. Okay, and we need to put the whole thing inside, I mean in the middle of the input. Okay, so how we will do that thing? So for that I have another screenshot. Let's see that first. When I saw the functionality of the search bar on a WhatsApp web, and I found out that it is not exactly we were thinking. The whole thing is not an input box. Okay, it was like it is just, if you think it as a box. Okay, box have three different children. The first children was the icon, which is just switching between the search icon and the arrow back icon, and in the last we have a cross icon that will appear only when we type something on our input section. So you can think that it's a row flex box, and in the flex box what we have arrow back icon or search icon, which is totally dynamic as a first children. Second children will going to be a input. Okay, and the third children will going to be a cross box. Okay, so this is, we will see if we haven't typed anything, and this is the way we will see if we type here anything. Okay, so let's implement that thing, and how we will implement it. Again, what we will do, that we just have this input thing, right? So instead of using this input thing, I will going to use first children as a box. So I will use a display as a flex. Okay, so by default it will take direction as a row. Okay, I will use a ASX, and instead of having this background here, I will use this background here. Okay, and let's find out what is the exactly background of this input section. So this is the exactly background, so I will use it. Okay, so instead of this I will use the exact background we got from here. Hit the save, go here, then find out. And this is not exactly uh, we want. I mean, the look we are able to see, that is not exactly we want. Actually we need a border radius, so I will add a border radius here. Okay, we added some border radius which will be more than the 6. I will use 8px. Okay, now what I will do, this is our parent box. So width of the parent will going to be 100%. So if I will use flex 1 to our first children, okay, so automatically it will give us a remaining width of the screen. Okay, so we got the remaining width of the screen. So this is our flex box which we are working right now. And this flex box, what we actually need is our first children will going to be an icon button which will be completely dynamic. First it will be search icon, then it will become a arrow back icon. Okay, and the last children will going to appear only when we have some text inside our input. Okay, so let's do that thing. I will add a first children which will going to be icon button. I will just copy the icon button code over here. I will paste our first children, and the first children will going to be search. Okay, so let's go here and let's use the search icon which we already used somewhere else, but we can find it here again. So where we have the search, here we have the search. Copy and import the search icon from here. So we got our first icon, search icon. Okay, so we got it here and it's looking good, like okay, and let's add some padding between this box. So I will add some padding, and it will be a padding. I will not add a padding on top and bottom, but I will add some padding around 8px to left and right. Okay, now we got some padding. The next thing I wanted to do is align item. So all the item will start from the center. Okay, so we got a search icon over here which is really small, and the padding between the search icon and the input box, it have some more padding. So what I will do, I will add a padding. Okay, so it already have padding. Top bottom is 0, but left and right is 10px, so I will increase to the 13px, so we have more padding. Okay, and next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to decrease the font size of the placeholder and all. So what I will do, I will go here, I will use a font size to 14px on the input box. Okay, we got some type of message. Instead of the type of message, we will use search or start new chat. Search or start a new chat. Search or start a new chat. So that thing is also added. Okay, I guess we need to have some padding from parent, this one to this chat card. So I will go on a parent one and I will increase the padding to 12px. Okay, so all where it will be 12px on top, right, left, bottom, everywhere it will be a 12px padding. Okay, what about the third children? The third children functionality will not work right now, because that thing we will work when we will do the when we will add the search search icon something, I mean search functionality. Okay, so whenever we make a API call for the search, at that time we will going to add that cross functionality, but let's not bother about that thing first. And yeah, pretty much we got the same UI like we have here. So let's focus on the next part here. Okay, so this filter icon, I need to have some padding from left. So this is our parent box, and then we again have a box, and I need to have a padding to 10 px. Px will work. Okay, so this is our first children, this is our second children, input one. We don't have a third children yet, but we will add our third children for this. And this is our first children of here. Okay, got it. Okay, now everything is sorted. We need to work on this box where we have a chat card. Okay, so here we have a chat card, and we wanted to add scroll functionality here, so that shouldn't be overflow. For that, what I will do, first thing, let's make this chat card in a way that when we select, so the background color of the chat card will change. Okay, so for that, let's create a props. For this, I'm going to create a props for this chat card. What I wanted to achieve, that I wanted to pass the chat card is selected or not. If it is selected, then I wanted to change the color of the chat card. Okay, I wanted to get a selected props from the parent to child. Okay, for that I need to create a type for the chat card props, and if it is selected, then I wanted to change the color of the entire box. Okay, so if it is selected, then the color will going to be different, and if it is not, then the color will going to be different. So if it is selected, then our color will going to be this. Okay, so let me just again. Okay, if it is selected, then I wanted to have this color. So let's go here and provide this color. Okay, and let's have two different chat card. First thing is this selected. Okay, and the second thing will going to be a selected, which will going to be a false. So whenever we provide some boolean parameter here as a true, then we don't need to assign like true like this. Okay, so if it is the same way, like the value of the selected will going to be true if we send selected like this. Okay, so this is a short trick, and what we need to just hit the save here also. So yeah, so if it is selected, then we got this thing, but I guess we need to change the behavior of the chat card, because when we are making it as a selected, then it should have a top padding. So what I will do, I will go on a chat card. So we should have around 8px top and bottom and 12px left and right. Might be now it is good. So if it is selected, then it will look like this, and if it is not selected, then it will look like this. Okay, okay, so let's work on a scroll part. Okay, so we have to go on a left panel. We created a chat card, and we wanted to have more chat card over here, but it should be not overflow. Not overflow means, suppose if I will copy this thing and make multiple chat card over here, then it will be overflow. You can see that. So we have to restrict that overflow, and we wanted to add a scroll functionality over here. Instead of overflowing from the whole height of the screen, we wanted to have a scroll functionality over here. To do that, what we will do, first we will go parent of the left panel. So this is a parent of the left panel. We will say overflow to hidden. Okay, we wanted to hide the overflow. So once we will hide the overflow, then you can see that we are not able to scroll it to the bottom. So when we made our parent of this lab panel like overflow as a hidden, then we are not able to scroll it to the down. Okay, I mean that overflow portion which we had earlier, it now it is gone. Okay, so this is the functionality of the overflow hidden. We hide the overflow from the parent class, but we wanted to scroll it down. Okay, so actually it will going to be always fixed, the nav bar will going to be always fixed, the search bar will always going to fix. Only we need to add a scroll in the this children. So we have a 3 children, right? So this is our main. So this was earlier was the main parent box. So if I will show on a code, so we had a 3 children. So first children is the custom app bar, and the second children is the search box which we added, and third children was the chat card one. Okay, so we don't want it to add a scroll behavior on a custom app bar. We don't want it to scroll this thing to above. We don't want it to scroll this thing also. We just wanted to add a scroll functionality on the third children only. Okay, because these two are sticky one, this need to be scrolled. So we will add a scroll functionality on a third children, which is this one. I will come here and I will say overflow to auto, or you can use a scroll too. If I will hit the save and come here, and also we need to give the height. And how we will give the height? We will think so let me provide a 90% height, so it might work. It should work. Okay, so it is working now. You can see that now the scroll functionality is added on this third children. And we forgot something to make this whole chat card as a dynamic. And apart from that, we had one issue that when we were scrolling, the last chat card is not properly visible. So also there is one thing, that if we don't have the whole chat card, suppose if we have just one chat card, then we had a white space. So let's fix all those things. Okay, and for that what I did, I have created a local chats. Okay, here I will just put a selected as true or false. Okay, so the first one will going to be a selected. So what I did, I just created this the list of the chat. You can think about the number of element we need to show over here. So only as of now I just created this thing. I'll just give me just 1 minute. I will just reformat it false. So these are the number of pupil I have. Text rates, if you think about that thing, we have a number of, we have an array, and in array we have a object like this, and these are the number of people we have texted. Okay, it have a name will going to match here, the name. We have a last text which will going to map to this. Okay, and then we have a last scene which will going to map this, and the last parameter is I just added just for the selected, that which card is selected and which is not. Okay, so let's go and let's use this local chats. Okay, and to show our chat card, instead of showing this static thing, we're going to use that thing. Okay, and as you know that you are using a JavaScript, so we're going to use a map. I told you about the map in the last video, that with help of the map we convert one kind of array to another form of array. Okay, we're going to use an item. Okay, we're going to return this chat card. Okay, so if I will hit the save, you will find that all the chats card are selected as of now, and all are static as of now. Okay, but we have data. Let's populate that data. So in a chat card, what I will do, I will go on a chat card. Instead of taking like this, what we will going to take, or simply we will just use this thing. Okay, so let me create a type first. For that, I will going to create a type that will going to be a common type. uh, so where I should create that, so let me go on a left panel, and left panel have a utils. Let me create a left panel dot types dot ts. I'm going to create a type that will be a universal type. I will use export uh, chat card type. Okay, and what I will do, it will going to be a interface, and what I will do here, just give me a moment. I will just going to copy this thing because I'm creating a types. Okay, and I'm just going to copy all the variable. Okay, and name is a type of string, so I will going to use string. Okay, and here there is also a type of string, so I'm going to use a type string. This is also a type of string. Okay, and this will going to be a boolean. So I created a universal type, and instead of creating this type everywhere, what I will do, I will just copy this type. I will go on a left panel. I will assign to this particular variable as a type. It is a type of chart card type, which is an array of chart of card type. So now it got a type. So whenever I will just delete this thing, then it will throw an error, because all the field we just created are mandatory. Okay, all the field we just created are mandatory, and we defined that type, and we assign that this variable as a type of this chart card type, which is an array. Okay, so if I will define this thing like this also, it will not work. Why it will not work? Because chart card type is a single object of an array. Okay, and we just created a set of array which have a chart card type, so we need to define like this. So it is an array of chart card type. Okay, so this is a chart card type we just imported. This item will going to be a chart card type too. Okay, and what we will go, we'll go on a chart card. It will be an item. Okay, and the item will going to be a chart card type. I will explain the whole thing again, don't worry. I'm just going to create the whole thing. It will going to be a chart card type. I'm going to receive an item. Okay, and let's do this thing first, then I will explain everything later. So I will pass an item which we have here. Okay, let me remove all the error, then I will explain everything. So what we did, we just created a chart card type. Okay, and that chart card type, what we did, we defined a list of, array of chart card type data. Okay, so this is the chart card type data which is in array format. So we define this local chart, and we are iterating that local chart. Okay, so each time we will get item from the local chart, because it is an array and we are trying to map each of element of array into this chart card format. So whenever we will accept an item from this map, it will have a type of chart card type, because every element have a type of chart card type. Okay, so the type will going to be a chart card type, and what I'm doing, I'm passing up props from the chart, from the parent to the chart card. Okay, so we are passing up props, which the name of the props is item, which is also a chart card type. So the item we are getting here is a type of chart card type, right? So if I will do anything wrong, suppose if I will use boolean over here, it will throw an error. Why it will throw an error? Because the item we are passing from the parent to the children, it have a type of chart card type, so it will not take a boolean parameter. Okay, so that's why it is throwing an error. So we have to maintain a type everywhere. So that's why I created this chart card type as a global type. Okay, so I can use it everywhere, in a chat card, in a lab panel too. Okay, so as we are passing the item, okay, so now we have access of each of the item in a chat card. So what I will do on a chat card, I will go, and here, that's why I wanted to cover everything one by one. I will access each of the element using the spread operator. And how I will do, what we have inside the item is an object, and inside the item we had a name, right? So if I will just put a control in space, it will give all the variable we had. Okay, so this is the beauty of the TypeScript. We don't need to think that what are the element we had. So we are using a spread operator to access every element we had in a item. So we had a name, so we will get a name, and instead of hard coding the name over here, I will put it like this. Or we can use item dot name to access the name. Okay, but yeah, I just exported everything over here. So like we don't need to use the item everywhere because we already access this thing. So I will just show you the example. Let me use item everywhere, then I will just remove the item from everywhere. Item dot last scene, not a last scene, I guess it will be a last text. Okay, it will be item dot last scene. So see, this is the beauty of the TypeScript. When we define something called type, then we can directly access it. In a JavaScript, we will not able to access it. I mean, the autocomplete functionality will not work on a JavaScript, but in a TypeScript, it will work smoothly. Okay, let me hit the save, and let me go here. So all the name which we created, the kind of variable we created, the first variable had the name Balram Rathore, second was the dev stack, and third test1 and test2. We forgot to use a selected, so let me use item.selected. Instead of putting a true all the time, I will use item.selected. Then you will find only one card is now selected. Okay, and let's remove the item from here because we already use a spread operator. Each time we will get an item, we are spreading all the thing over here, and instead of using the item.name, we are directly accessing the name from here. Similarly, we are directly accessing the selected, we are directly accessing the last scene, and similarly we will directly accessing the last text. Okay, so it will not throw any kind of error because we already used the spread operator to access all the element. Okay, now the second fix I need to do is, instead of having a white background, I need to put a same background we had here. Okay, so chat card had this background as a default. I'm going to use this background. I will go on a left panel and our third children. So in a third children we have this overflow auto and height 90%. I will go on a SX, and what I will do, I will use a background and provide whole background color over here. So now it have only 3 things. Okay, I mean the color is now added. And the last thing I wanted to do was, suppose I will just copy the whole thing again. I don't wanted to write everything again and again. So last thing was, the last fix we need to do is we need to fix the last item. Okay, so let me remove the selected to true everywhere. I mean, I just wanted to use false. I wanted to put selected for only one chat card, so it will look nice. Where we have true, let me remove this false. Okay, so here what we need to do, we need to just go here in a chat card. After that, what I will do, simply I will put a box. You can use a box as a spacer also. So in a box, what I will do, I will use a PT, I mean padding. I will add a PT padding. Okay, PT as a 30px. So in the last we added some padding. We can increase the padding to 60px as well. Okay, not 60px, it will be a 50px only. Okay, so why I just put the spacer in the last child, because this was our these are the children we had for the chat, I mean for the showing the chat cards. So after showing our all the chat cards element, we are putting a spacer at the last. So the issue we had earlier, that we were not able to see our last children of the chat card, is now gone, because we already put a spacer between the last children and the element. So now the issue is resolved. Okay, so the purpose of this video is also resolved. Okay, now we can move ahead with the other UI things. Okay, thank you all, and don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the video and share the video to your friend. It will highly motivate me. Let's see you on the next video.